three in the country in rebounding, and you know, really is a presence on both ends of the floor. So we're going to have to do, you know, we're going to have to really play well, play a lot better than we played on Saturday night. That's for sure. We did not play well, and still had a chance to win the game, and made some pretty good plays down the stretch and weren't rewarded for them. So that happens. It's life on the road. Again, I continue to have to impart to my kids. I think everybody in this room, or I don't know, maybe not everybody, but most of us understand the history of the old Southwest Conference, the Big 12, and how when you got Texas on your chest, you get everybody's best game. We certainly, you know, I understand it as a coach, but I'm not sure that my team understands it. Maybe Shay Holly gets it. She might be the only one because of the history of her father. But other than that, I mean, it's a constant battle for me. It's been that way since I've been here. And just, you know, teaching your kids to understand that on every night you're going to get everybody's best, and you've got to be ready no matter, you know, what somebody's record may be or what you may think of them on film. You just got to be prepared and be ready. And so excited about the opportunity, excited to see us play again. We had a better practice yesterday than we played on Saturday, and we've got to come out tomorrow night and play well.
I know you wouldn't want it this way, but do you notice an uptick in preparation when you're coming home for a week of 2 games against ranked teams, and what kind of a week like this can mean to a team? I know you want everything to be level, but do you notice it with your team?
I didn't yesterday. Yesterday was a pretty humbling day, actually. We watched film. The film doesn't lie. What we saw on film with a lot of our effort and execution, especially defensively, was really humbling. It's humbling for me as a coach because I'm responsible for it. And I think our kids saw themselves in a light that they didn't realize was happening. And, you know, it's never – the one thing that glares, I think, for a team with fans and certainly on film is how hard somebody's playing. You want to empty a stadium? Have a team that don't play hard. I'm not paying any money to come watch them play. And at the same time, when you got film of that and you see yourself, you know, maybe not exerting as much effort as you know you can. So yesterday, I think, was humbling in that regard, and then it was about, we got to fix this. I mean, this isn't about this isn't tactical. This isn't X's and O's. This is about really understanding how hard you have to play in this league against our opponents night in and night out to have a chance to win. And again, as bad as we played, y'all, in a 3-minute period of time, we went on a 12-0 run to tie it with 4 and something to go, almost 5 minutes to go in the game. And we made some pretty good plays down the stretch, and we weren't rewarded for them. So it happens, and you gotta, you know, the thing is now, can you fix it? And we only have 2 days to fix some of those issues. Everything won't get fixed in 2 days, but we've got to address them, and then you got to get ready for a different team, in my mind, altogether in Kansas.
How much do you have to rely on Rory and Deanna and some of the ones who have been a part of the Big 12 to relay that stuff versus just your voice? I mean, how much do you rely on your players?
Well, I'd like, you know, one of our issues right now is communication, Bob. Like we're really got an issue communicating. Like one of my sayings is a silent gym's a losing gym. Like we really have a hard time communicating with each other on the floor during a game. Not just in a live ball situation, but let's just say after a free throw. Like y'all pay attention when we're after a free throw, we should know who we're guarding if we're in the press. We don't. You know, we've had instances where referees are going to the table to review something, and we've got a 1 or 2 minute window, and then we come back, or we're all standing around because somebody's checking something in the book, and next thing you know, they're inbounding the ball. We still ain't got who we're supposed to guard. You know, we got somebody standing there guarding the air. That's a problem. And my comment to Rory yesterday was, hey, what's being talked about when y'all are huddling? And Shay said, she said, Coach, we're talking. You know, we're telling everybody who they got, but it's just not registering with all 5 that are on the floor. And that's just I think more than anything about it, it's a maturity deal. It's an experience deal. Even some of our older kids, you know, it's easy to play with teammates that can carry you, that maybe have been to the wars, and you're just trying to, you know, they're gonna clean up your mess. They're gonna protect your backside when you make a mistake. Now all of a sudden you got to be that person. Different. So I wrote on all the kids' papers. You know, they fill out a paper after every game, and they write down the pros and cons of themselves and the pros and cons of the team. And then yesterday, when we went into film, we wrote down how many points each of them was responsible for, just giving them an idea of how many points you were responsible for on defense. We gave up 86. Like, there's no way in my mind that's okay. 49 at halftime. Like, I can't remember the last time. I said that in the press conference after the game. Like, I'm telling y'all, I can't remember the last time. Danny will have it by the time we're done, but I can't remember the last time a team of mine has given up 49 points and a half. I'm going to tell you, it's probably that first team at Mississippi State in 2012 that I inherited on the road opening in conference play. After that, it's not happened. And so that's really, you know, concerning for me. Disappointing would be another word, but it's concerning. And so we've got to be better. And we weren't very good on Saturday night. And everybody gets that film. Everybody will attack us that way until we fix it. That's just how coaching is. So.
Rick, some of the problems that you're talking about can some of it just be chalked up to, you know, a team still trying to find its way in the first week of January, or is there something even more troubling about what you're talking about that might be unique to this team that maybe you haven't quite seen?
Yeah, I think this team is unique. I'm going to agree with you there. I think we have so many new players, you know, 6 of them, and they all play. We've got all 6 of those back now. Plus, you took out somebody in my mind that, even as young as they were, was really starting to get it defensively in Aaliyah Moore, who's a young veteran. And so she was starting to really get it and be a great defender and a help defender. And so that's been, you know, caused. We took our leading shot blocker out of the last 9 games. Now she's trying to figure it out and get back, but hard to put Hattie on the bench, you know, when she's doing what she's doing from a rebounding perspective. And so, you know, those are all factors, but in my mind, they're all excuses. You know, I got to get them playing right, got to coach them better, teach them better. And so, you know, nobody really cares about your problems except your opponents, right? They can't wait to expose them or publish them or do anything else, right? So we just got to be better, and I've got to make them better. We've got this game Tuesday, then we'll have, you know, 4 or 5 days before we play on Sunday, and hopefully we can get some good work in.
Do you think you believe in your team to figure it out? Do you have that belief in these players of yours?
Absolutely. I mean, I just think the proof's in the pudding, y'all. You'd be amazed at everybody's got an idea about what's wrong and how to fix it. Everybody's got an idea about how to coach. Everybody's got an idea about how to handle certain aspects of your team within the program. All I know is what's worked for me the past, you know, X number of years. I have the same practice plan, y'all, in front of me that I've had in front of me the last 13 years as a head coach. On this day, this is what we did, getting ready for this particular team. So if this team didn't match up with Kansas, then I go to the Kansas profile, and I look at that profile. But I absolutely believe in these kids. I believe in our team. I think sometimes you have to learn to do things a little differently. And when you have a little bit of a different personnel skill set, and I think that's where we're at right now, we can score the ball. Scoring has not been an issue for us. It's the other piece, and we've got to figure that out because to me that's our Achilles right now.
So, Coach, going back to your mantra, it's not what we do, it's how we do it. When you think about your past seasons and having it right in front of you, what is different between this year and last or previous seasons where sounds like you're doing the exact same thing.
Just so many new players that are all playing big minutes. I mean, you think about it. We got two new wing players. Got a new 5 player. Now we've got, Deanna, who was starting at 5 earlier. Now moved her back to 4, and she's been in and out of the lineup her whole career. And then you got a sophomore at point guard, and who's was injured early. And so I just think we've got a lot of factors that have been a part of the equation right now. But I think just let's say Deanna and Shay and Rory, those 3 back, and they're playing. There's still a chemistry factor that goes in with those other 6. Does that make sense? Like, those 3 might be really good together, but there's 2 other people that are involved in that. So, for example, the other night, we were rotating once. We weren't rotating to help the helper on penetration, on pick and roll. And so it's all tied into what you're trying to do, and it just takes a while. Defense is the last thing you get. It always is. That's something that's always we've been really good at, and we will be. It's just it takes a little bit longer right now, and again, it's going back to what you opened with. It's not what we do, but how we do it. It's probably a little bit different for those 6 new kids. They've never done it this way.
Is it ever solved or helped by outside of basketball? I'm thinking of the movie Top Gun for some reason, where he took the team to play, football.
Man, I wish it was September. I'd head to the beach right now. I think we spent some time. In fact, I know we did. This team spent a lot of time together off the floor. Hey, they're close. I mean, they're great kids. I love coaching them. They're really fun to be around, but it's hard to have fun when you're getting your butt beat. It's hard to have fun when you're in a game like we were on Saturday night and just not playing well. We just didn't play well, and it wasn't the turnovers for once. It was the other end, and just didn't play hard enough. I mean, I wish I could tell you it was something else, but when you go back and look at the film yesterday and you show them, it's glaring. Like, it's not close. It's glaring. And so, but again, I just think that's what we do, but how we do it piece, understanding and look, y'all, the only way that you can create that playing hard to where it's just normal is what you do every day. That's it. So, let's only go an hour and a half today or hour 15. It's February. That's just never been my deal. That's not what work. You can't, let's go too hard today, go 2 times hard, and then we'll take it easy on this day, then we'll kind of go medium this day. No, because then the next thing you know, they're going to be on game day not going real hard on one of those days. The only way you create your program, your toughness, your competitive spirit is demanding it every day. Every day. There's just a standard, and that's what you've got to live by. It's the only way, and so I don't know what practices it is. It's 51 or 52 or 53, but that's for 6 kids. It's a new way of doing things. So you're still trying to create habits within our team concept. And again, I wish I had had all of them their whole career. I love them. And I think they're really good, but it's not the way it is. So we've got to make, we've got to keep stay in it, stay in the grind, keep working. It'll happen. It'll click. I need it to happen sooner than later.
You always talk about recruiting to a film.
Yep.
Do you think you may have miscalculated on some of these players, or do you think it's just, as you said, taking a little time longer to adjust?
Yeah, I think we're, maybe I think it's just going to take a little bit longer with this group. These are great kids. They're culture kids. They're accountable for the most part. So from that standpoint, Dan, they fit, and they're trying. And I mean, it's not like they're not trying. And so I just think that it's going to take a little bit longer, and it is taking a little bit longer. But y'all got to remember that first year That group didn't get it till way late. And so we've just got to keep after it. And the thing is, we just don't have a big learning curve right now. I got top 25 coming in tomorrow. Got another one, top 10 coming in on Sunday. It's hard to get well when you have this kind of a gauntlet like we have. And you know what? The people we're playing, they don't care. Hey, kick them while they're, how that works. So we've got to stay after it and just keep working. And again, yesterday was encouraged by our practice and how much better we got. And I think the men is a great example of what happened with Kansas State. And then, man, I watched every minute, every second of their game at Oklahoma State. Those guys, they were back at it. They were back doing what they do and really focused, I thought, on that end. Again, defense travels. You should. You're not going to shoot the ball well every night, but man, your defense can be special every night. And my teams typically have had that. And I thought our guys, they were special and were really locked in and tough on the road. Could have easily, the lead had gotten away from them and it got tied and crowd's going nuts. And next thing you know, they make 3 great defensive plays and get a bucket here and there and they win the game. That's how it's supposed to be. You think about it. They held that team to 46 points on their home floor. You ain't doing that standing around in a 2-3 zone playing hope you miss defense.
Are you concerned at all yet about your team's resume and you only have 1 Q1 win so far? Is that a concern for you at all?
Well, we got plenty of opportunities coming up. So I think that's where we're at. We played a good schedule early. Again, if I'd have had a different non-conference schedule like other teams, we'd have 1 loss right now. But I didn't have that schedule. So it is what it is. We've got plenty of opportunity in front of us, so I think that's where we're at. We've got to take advantage of what's in front of us right now. Yeah, he's done a great job. He's a heck of a coach. They really challenge you in a lot of different ways. Offensively, they do so many different things that make you think. And I just think from a recruiting standpoint, he's done a great job of recruiting kids to his fit. And again, he's a great coach. He's a good person. I enjoy visiting with him. I've known him a long time, and I think what he's done at Kansas is I think what I think I knew he could do when he took the job. And again, he's been there. It's taken some time, but man, it's not easy. This job is not easy, and it's not easy to get healthy or get competitive in a league when you start, where he had to start, where I started at Mississippi State. Man, it's hard. And so what he's been able to do, I just think that's a great example of having patience with the right people. And he's definitely the right people for Kansas.
Did you give that message to your players about, hey, look at what our men did, look how they turned it around in a week? Is that it?
Yeah, it didn't work. I gave that to him before we played. I hated the game was on U. Was it on ESPNU? Yeah, well, the hotel we were in didn't have that. I know we're all shocked, but so we couldn't watch the game. So I pulled it up and had it on the big screen where we watch film down in the team room, and we had just got back from shoot around and had breakfast. So our kids weren't there, but I tried to convey to them that we've talked about Baylor's men. They've lost 3 in a row, first time in forever, right? But yet, how do you respond? That's my message to them yesterday's. Okay, how do you respond? We had a little adversity. We didn't handle it well. We had some things go against us, out of our control. Didn't handle it well. Hey, the men didn't even have water at their hotel. That's even a greater sign of what they got accomplished in my mind. That's great leadership. That's great toughness, not letting that get you. They didn't have water for 2 days. And they go out there and play like they played. I mean, That's hard to do, especially with a bunch, you know, with a bunch of young folks that, you know, typically young people like to sit around and whine, and I'm sure those guys didn't. And they buckled down and went and got it done. I mean, it's impressive in my mind. And that's great leadership that's instilling that in them. So I'm always trying to pull from things, Danny, and talk to our kids, but it's about response. Okay, yesterday's practice was okay. Let's see what today's is going to be like, because we need to get better. You're not going to get better going half speed or this or that. You got to go do what we do. The proof's in the pudding. We got to stay the course. You got to keep doing what we do every day. I know it's going to work. It'll click. We just got to stay the course.
Coach, you talked about the men's team. Do you have any contact with Coach Terry? Do you have any comments about him?
He and I have visited a couple of times in the last few days. And, again, just, you know, I think the one thing, you know, one of the things I visited with him back, you know, a couple of months ago, he lost a parent. And, you know, I've been down that road. I've buried both my parents, and it's no fun. And as I get older, I have more and more friends that go through that. And as a person of faith, I struggle with finding the words to tell my friends and talk to them about that. But all I can share with them is this, and it's what my mother told me as I was with her the last 6 months of her life every day and watched her go down every day. But I can remember my mother telling me, son, it's your destiny as my child to bury me. We'd much rather have it that way than the other. And that's always resonated with me. It just comes with being the son, you know, and it's no fun. Our flesh would take them in any shape, form, or fashion, even if all they could do is lay in the bed and you could see them every day. But that's not any way to live, and it's not what they would want. But that's our flesh, right? But we've had that conversation, and I've checked in with. I know he had Christmas with, you know, back again and with his family, and asked him how that went. So we've talked a lot about family more than anything, and then. I think our last conversation was just, hey, I'm here. You got it. You've done this all your career. You know, but if you need anything, I'm absolutely here to help any way I can. But, I mean, he's not only been down that road, but he's got assistants that have been down that road. I mean, you talk about a program that can handle what they've gone through. That's a group right there. That staff is seasoned. They're veterans. They've been to the wars. And, you know, to have to go through something like that, you couldn't have a better group of men leading those young men.
Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate y'all. Praise the Lord and hook 'em horns.